today I have a list for you of the greatest challenges that ever existed in the anime ecosphere. These are some of the most overpowered villains in anime, and when they first showed up, the initial response was, how is anyone ever gonna beat them? Starting off the list at number 10, it's Kaz from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Kaz is the leader of the Pillar Men and the creator of the Stone Mask. The Pillar Men are an ancient species that used to rule over humans and who were seen as gods. His only weakness is the sun, so he made the Stone Mask to overcome this weakness to rule the day world. His tribe objected and tried to stop him, but he slaughtered them. Kaz is one of the most powerful characters in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. His light mode allows him to produce blades from his limbs that can produce blinding light. His ultimate form allows him to manipulate his body by having access to the genetic code of all of Earth's known life forms. Kaz's ripple is comparable to the intensity of the sun and can vaporize human flesh on contact. Next at number 9, it's Zeref from Fairy Tail. Now don't let this man's young and innocent appearance fool you. He's over 400 years old and is known as the strongest and most evil wizard ever. His alias, the Black Wizard, is a reference to the black magic curse that he carries. The black art will kill everyone around Zeref instantly if he holds any affection for life. But when he managed to completely stop caring about all life, the black art became a weapon he could control at will. So other than black magic, he's also mastered living magic, fire magic, telepathy, enchantment, and even time and space magic. Not to mention that he's also a conjurer that has summoned countless powerful demons into the world. Moving on to number 8, it's All for One from My Hero Academia. All for One is the villain above all villains, the man without whom all might wouldn't exist. His presence puts fear into your body, and his power allows him to take others' quirks for himself or to give them to other people. Even though his age hasn't been officially confirmed, he should be almost a century old at the point of the series where we first meet him. All for One's abilities are endless, but some of the ones we know of are warping, air cannon, super strength, absorption, multiplying arms, super regeneration, and loads more. At number 7, it's Altair from Recreators. Altair, aka Military Uniform Princess, is the main antagonist of Recreators. She's the one responsible for bringing the created into the real world, with her plan being to destroy everything by crashing different worlds against each other. Altair has many standard abilities such as super strength, magic, flight, telekinesis, but what makes her overpowered is the ability to remove and alter parts of others' creation stories. She could revise a story and change Cilicia's sword rebellion into a flower. She could make certain characteristics of a creation disappear. She could add plot twists to a creation story, and among other things, she could overtake another creation's consciousness and become them.
Life or Torito.
At number 6, we have Big Mom from One Piece. Charlotte Linlin, the captain of the Big Mom Pirates, is the only female Yonko. Charlotte was very powerful way before being nicknamed Big Mom. As a 5-year-old kid, she was massive, towering above all other children. Her size made others compare her to giants, but in strength she was outmatched. During her rampage over being starved, she destroys a whole Elbaf village, Elbaf being the land of giants. None of the giants could stop her, and she injured many of them fatally. Now, as an adult, she's one of the Emperors of the Sea, one of the 4 most powerful pirates in the world, and as the only female in the 4, we can only assume she's the strongest woman in the world. Through her strength, she's managed to create a very powerful crew with some of the world's strongest pirates on her side. Her Devil Fruit, the Soul Fruit, allows her to manipulate freely with souls. She can take them out, transfer them, cut one's lifespan in half, and do many other manipulations. Next on the list at number 5, it's Father from Fullmetal Alchemist. Father's the oldest of all homunculus and the creator of all other homunculus. He considers himself worthy of divine status and demands the ownership of the world. He's thousands of years old and was first introduced to humanity with the ancient kingdom of Xerxes, where he managed to manipulate the king and the alchemist Van Hohenheim to sacrifice the entire city that gave Father the power of all of those souls and become immortal. Father's so powerful that his creation, the 7 deadly sins, are virtually indestructible. His alchemy is without a match and he has the ability to create a miniature sun if he wants to. Father was a being that rivals a god, which he literally tries to absorb. Some try to overtake God, some try to defeat him, but Father's the only one who ever tried to literally eat God. Moving on to number 4, it's Utsuro from Gintama. Utsuro was born with an ability that allowed him to absorb and contain a high amount of Altair, the planet's life force, granting him immortality and regenerative abilities. After society tried to kill him out of fear, they locked him up in a prison where he was forgotten about for decades. When his door cell rotted away, he escaped. In order to cope with the suffering and torture he sustained, Utsuro developed multiple personalities, some of which, to no one's surprise, wanted to kill everyone. Utsuro became a mass murderer, but was caught by the imperial government. But instead of executing him, they decided to make him an assassin. He formed Naraku, a secret assassination group, and led them for over 500 years. Thanks to his overwhelming powers and 500 years of experience, has become a master swordsman with no one to match him. He can be compared to a Grim Reaper with the ability to slay entire countries.
教えよう。力というのはこういうものを言うのだ。
At number 3, it's Aizen from Bleach. Sosuke Aizen was originally introduced to us as the captain of the 5th Division in the Gotei 13, captain being one of the highest positions one can strive for in the Soul Society. But Aizen's ambitions were even greater than that, aiming to become the god of all worlds. Aizen is a genius well versed in strategy and tactics. He has knowledge unknown to most, such as the existence of the Oken, the key to Soul King's palace, and the method to create it. He's created several hollows and arankars, all while avoiding any suspicion from Soul Society. He experimented with the holification of Shinigami, something no one has ever done before. He has a high proficiency in Kido spells and is even able to use high-level Kido spells without their incantation. Aizen has immense spiritual powers even by a captain standard, and few, if anyone, rival his strength in any of the worlds. Number 2 on the list is Madara from Naruto. Madara Uchiha is the legendary leader of the Uchiha clan. During the ancient wars, his strength was forged in battle against his rival Hashirama Senju. The two of them were considered the strongest ninjas to ever live. His knowledge and strength allowed him to play a central role in major parts of history. His powers are so great, not even the 5 Kages could defeat him even after joining their strength. His eyes, strength, and experience allow him to perform complicated techniques with a single hand seal. During the Great Ninja War, he would enter the Sage mode via absorbed Hashirama cells, despite having no prior training in Senjutsu. His Sharingan technique allowed him to gain the highest level of Sharingan, Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and create a full-body Susanoo. It would take the combined force of some of the greatest ninjas in the world to even attempt to stop him.
2個目はどうする？大向き。
And finally, at number 1, it's Meruem from Hunter x Hunter. Meruem was the most powerful offspring of the Chimera Ant Queen, simply known as King, for the majority of his life. The Queen gave birth to him to be the perfect offspring, and it was reflected in his attitude of holding himself superior to all other forms of life. He had no empathy for his own race, killing and cannibalizing at the first sign of impudence, and he saw humans only as a source of food. Meruem goes through character development unlike any other on this list. It's this intellectual and physical fight he has with the world's strongest hunter, Chairman Netero, that play pivotal points in his life and development. Of all the characters on this list, Meruem is my personal favorite. He stays as the most powerful character in the series long after his introduction.